A judge sentenced rapper Fetty Wap to 6 years in federal prison for his role in a scheme. The Grammy-nominated rapper pleaded guilty in August 2022 as part of a plea agreement. It spared him from a potential life sentence.
Indictment just unsealed late this morning. As you mentioned, the arraignment will be held this afternoon via teleconference. He was arrested yesterday at Citi Field. It was during a music festival in the afternoon before he performed. He's one of 6 indicted for conspiracy to distribute more than 100 kilograms of
2015, Fetty Wap wasn't just famous, he was unstoppable. One of the biggest rappers on the entire planet. His song Trap Queen was blasting on every radio station, becoming a worldwide phenomenon overnight. He was touring with massive stars like Post Malone, selling out arenas, and fans couldn't get enough of him. Fast forward to today and Fetty Wap isn't performing on stage. He's sitting behind bars in federal prison, dealing with the harsh consequences of the biggest mistake he's ever made. It's gotten so bad that even his most loyal fans are saying Fetty Wap's career is officially over. But how exactly do you go from topping the charts worldwide to becoming the most talked about rapper sitting in a jail cell? Fetty's downfall began from the moment he started making more money than he knew what to do with. After Trap Queen took off, Fetty quickly followed it up with 2 more hits, with his tracks 6, 7, 9 and My Way, each selling millions of copies and further cementing him as a hip-hop superstar. He wasn't just making music, he was headlining huge shows, hopping onto countless features and appearing everywhere. At the peak of his success, Fetty openly revealed exactly how much money was stacking up in his bank account.
How much is the most you saw like in your account? You're like, what
the most I saw in my account?
Yeah, just
22.
Huh?
22.
Like 22,
M's.
like 2.22 million.
Yeah.
Holy yeah, I spent a lot too. I ain't gonna lie.
I saved a lot of money, bro.
22 million.
I saved a lot of money because I wouldn't spend unless I knew I was making it. So it wasn't like I made $22 million at one time. Nah, that's not how it happened.
Fetty had an astonishing $22 million sitting in the bank. For those who understand taxes, that meant Fetty had earned around $40 million, accounting for the half he'd paid to Uncle Sam. But what exactly did he do with all those millions? Because it's his reckless spending and bad business decisions he made with his wealth that played a huge role in landing him in jail.
Yeah. I heard you bought like 50 cars, and I'm like,
oh, 72.
You bought 72 cars.
Count like from then to now, yeah, 72.
For like who?
And almost everybody.
Why? And what are you thinking?
I just want everybody to be happy, bro.
What's the craziest you ever did?
Jewelry.
Jewelry?
Yeah.
How much?
2.5
million?
Yeah.
Tell me you sold it back or something. You got money back, right?
Not really.
Fetty was spending money like it would never run out, dropping around $200,000 every single month on bills alone. And believe it or not, that didn't even count the huge amounts of cash he was handing over to support his 6 kids, each with a different mother. It was almost like Fetty was challenging himself, seeing just how fast he could burn through his fortune. He splashed money on extravagant houses, luxurious cars, diamond-encrusted jewelry, and every expensive thing he laid eyes on. At first, nobody including Fetty himself saw this as an issue, because when you have tens of millions sitting in your bank, a few $100,000 each month seems like pocket change. But here's the truth that every celebrity eventually learns. Even millions won't last forever if you keep spending recklessly. And in 2018, Fetty realized just how true this was. It was his daughter's birthday, and he flew out to California determined to make it unforgettable. He planned on pulling out $100,000 from his bank to throw the biggest, most lavish party imaginable, packed with gifts that would make any kid's dreams come true. But when Fetty got to the bank, everything changed. Instead of handing him the cash, the bank told Fetty surprising news. They couldn't give him the money because he had a hold on his account.
Yeah, I've had a bad business manager. He was like, he was taking a lot of my bread. But I was making so much of it, like I didn't know.
You're not keeping track of it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And they froze all my yeah, like people that I was supposed to be, you know what I mean? Like that I didn't even know I had to pay. Yeah, they froze all my bro. I went to the bank again, and that shit was like, hold. And I'm like, what the f? And yeah, so I think for like 6 months, yeah, I was broke, bro.
It turned out the bank had frozen his account because he'd fallen way behind on his bills and payments. In that moment, Fetty Wap was stunned. The man who once believed he had unlimited wealth couldn't even withdraw his own money to celebrate his daughter's birthday. At this point, Fetty wasn't really focused on putting out music like before. Sure, he dropped a few mixtapes here and there, but those were free downloads, not bringing in any real money. He was coasting off his earlier success, hoping his past hits would keep paying the bills forever. But as the bank incident showed him, the money was rapidly drying up. But what fans didn't realize realize was that behind the flashy cars and lavish lifestyle, something much darker was brewing. When you look closely at Fetty's career timeline, something just doesn't add up. He released a smash hit album in 2015 with multiple chart-topping singles. And then weirdly, he gave fans nothing but free mixtapes for the next 6 years until 2021. The reason comes down to a critical mistake Fetty made early in his career. Back in New Jersey, when Fetty was still grinding and dreaming big, a guy named Nit the Grit stepped in to help him out. Nit paid for studio sessions, promoted Fetty's early tracks, and was a key figure behind Fetty's initial success. So naturally, when Trap Queen blew up, Fetty trusted him completely and signed to Nit the Grit's label, RGF Productions. But this decision was about to haunt Fetty's career in ways he never imagined, because Nit the Grit had absolutely no idea how to manage a major music career.
Spiraling out of control, man. Like, be honest. It's early though. It's early. Like, you tell me you could have grabbed control. I'm talking about y'all made it, money's coming in, but now it's about how the you're gonna manage fame, stardom, legal money. Bro, listen. No, like it's more so like it just happened too fast for bro at a young, very, very, very young age.
In early 2019, desperate to recover the lifestyle he'd grown accustomed to, Fetty and 5 others came up with a dangerous scheme to rake in millions. Their plan was simple but incredibly risky. They'd buy a certain high-value product on the West Coast, cleverly hiding it in secret compartments inside cars driven cross-country to the East Coast. To evade suspicion, they'd occasionally switch things up, shipping the product via airplanes or even discreetly through the mail. Once the shipment arrived, they'd carefully divide it and rapidly distribute it across New Jersey and the wider tri-state area. These guys were operating at an astonishing scale, moving nearly $2 million worth of product every single week. Throughout 2019, Fetty's crew was living large, stacking millions with no end in sight. But what they didn't realize was that federal agents were watching their every move. No one knows exactly what tipped off law enforcement. Maybe someone got greedy, maybe a shipment raised suspicion. But from that point onward, every phone call they made, every meetup they arranged, and every shipment they moved was under federal surveillance. The feds used wiretaps, hidden cameras, and tracking devices to build a case against them, and it didn't take long for everything to come crashing down. On June 27, 2020, federal agents simultaneously raided 6 locations across New Jersey, directly tied to Fetty Wap's crew. When the smoke cleared, they had enough evidence to put everyone away for life in federal prison. One by one, the crew members were arrested, but Fetty lucked out. He managed to stay free and get out untouched. In fact, things looked so positive that in 2021, he even dropped his second album titled The Butterfly Effect, which secured him a performance slot at Rolling Loud. Just when fans thought Fetty was finally turning a corner and making a comeback, reality set in. As he was gearing up to take the stage, federal agents suddenly arrived.
The talented rapper Willie Jr. Maxwell II, better known by his stage name Fetty Wap, was preparing to take the stage at the Citi Field Music Festival Rolling Loud Thursday night when the FBI moved in, arresting him for running a major ring. He's mostly stayed out of the music spotlight the last few years, and that lack of money and prestige, said a source, were motivation to allegedly get involved in the trade.
However, Fetty's sentencing was different than most cases. Usually, when someone is sentenced in court, the judge doesn't directly address the accused beyond the formalities. But Fetty's situation was completely different. Instead of just handing down a sentence, the judge practically interviewed Fetty, asking him personal questions and seeing how he made his decisions.
So they said, during your sentencing, you told the judge, I only ever wanted to help my family. I never asked myself if it was all the way right. Why was that important for you to say at the time? He says, because it was true. It's all true. A lot of people don't say it to my face, but I hear the rumors like, oh, he dumb as hell. He had the world in his hands. All this other shit. But people don't understand the shit I was going through with the music.
Fans finally got the truth about why Fetty did what he did. Despite earning millions of dollars, Fetty openly admitted he lacked financial intelligence and had nobody guiding him on how to manage such huge sums of money. But what he revealed next was even more shocking. Fetty admitted that he knew his music career was declining, and if it ever fully collapsed, he refused to let the world see him struggle financially. He was determined to get money by any means necessary, even if it meant returning to illegal activities.
When I started doing this is what I know how to do. It's like being honest with myself, and you know what I'm saying? Like, the music wasn't doing that good. I was putting out music with nobody paying attention, so I'm like, man, f it, I'm gonna go back to what I know how to do. Instead of pursuing my career harder or going harder to make people listen, man, I was kind of you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm falling off, I ain't about to look like it. You know what I'm saying? I was a coward for that. It was just like, I can't let my family down. It wasn't for to be like, I'm outside. I'm really doing this for real.
Fetty didn't detail what he meant when he said he'd return to what he's good at, but everyone, including the judge, knew he was referring to moving product again. But perhaps the saddest part of the whole hearing came when Fetty shared the harsh reality of his music career. He explained how he unknowingly signed deals that made other people hundreds of millions of dollars, yet he barely saw a dime from his own hit songs. It was sad to see that Fetty's downfall was a result of his own mistakes and the ugly legal side of the music industry.
From what the public didn't see, is it just bad business situation or contracts that kind of held you back? You had songs like Trap Queen, 679 and My Way that were hits. But maybe people thought you had all this money, but behind the scenes, because of business, it's like, yeah, it wasn't like that. Somebody got all the money, but I don't got it. I'll just leave it like that. You know what I'm saying? I made all my money from doing shows and tours and stuff like that. And the real reason why I'm here, I never really get all that, the rap money, I guess you would say, like masters and royalties.
However, Fetty Wap's release date from jail was just updated. According to news reports, it reads, "New pictures of Fetty Wap in prison has surfaced online. He's scheduled to be released in 2027. But even with all his mistakes, massive spending and prison time, do you believe Fetty can return to being a top rapper in the game?"